Atalanta 2, Chelsea 1 then is how it finishes. Jan, you'll keep an eye on this game for us. What's going on with Chelsea?
Well, it's always when we talk about those contenders for anything that they are gone.
Yep.
And today, I mean, we saw the goals there. I mean, 1-0 up, and then for me, yes, Camacho, it's so free. You can't do that. You get teased over to the near post, as Craig was alluding to, but still, you can't let him do that. There is something with this Chelsea team that. It reminds me of the good old Dortmund teams. You remember when one player went down, 7 went down? There is something with the mentality in that team. They go down together. It's not that 1 or 2 go down. It's like a mentality in the team. João Pedro had a chance there at the end. Having said that, we have to respect Atalanta, not a flyer in La Liga. No, sorry, Serie A, sorry. But in the Champions League, doing ever so well. They were clever. And I think you were kind, Craig, to the goalkeeper on the second goal for Kettler. I think he didn't look well at that goal either. So a sad night for a Chelsea team that can't last as a contender more than 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, but I was just looking at the league table there. I think they're 10th.
Champions League table?
Yes.
Right.
They're 10th out of...
I'm being told they're 11th.
11th. 10th. I was looking down the glasses. All right. Smart Alec producer. And you know, there's 400 teams in this freaking league. You know, there's like 36 teams.
No, I understand the jeopardy's not there, but this isn't good for Chelsea.
This isn't about the Champions League per se. This is about their form, their consistency, their inability to take and harness what they had in the Arsenal game, which seems to be what everybody's talking about, because it was particularly good, and then go and do this. Mm-hmm. You know, lose at Leeds, albeit Maresca made 2, I think, big mistakes in the changes. He left out Neto and he left out Reece James. They were 2 of the best players against Arsenal. Bournemouth was a dull game. Bournemouth bossed the first half. Second half was pretty dull. And then a loss tonight. And I think that's more the concern for Enzo Maresca going forward rather than this Champions League table, is the fact that, are they going to pick it up? Can they put a consistent run of results together? Can they get a consistency within their team selection? Can they defend well enough, which we didn't see tonight? So I think those are all the questions that we thought we had the answers to from the game against Arsenal at home. I thought, wow, this could be pretty good. This is much better than we thought at the start of the season. And then we have these 3 games, big disappointment.
So who are the real Chelsea, Jan?
That's a good question. I think they will go through, though. If you say they're playing Paphos at home,
yeah, they'll be fine.
Napoli, they will be fine in doing that.
Yeah.
I think the real Chelsea are still looking for their identity somehow. I mean, we can see what they can do when they are very good. We can see that, but if you see their lowest point, it's too low to be up there. You see Manchester City as kind of going there, bad games, but still they're still at 3 points. With Chelsea, is the lowest point is too low, and you saw that today in key scenes in the game that they're not up for it. And but I think they will be all right. And maybe it's something wish thinking that we want the Premier League to be so exciting. We want Chelsea there, we want City there, we want Arsenal there, and they are probably not good enough mentally.
I bet we don't have any questions tonight on extra time about our Chelsea title contenders.
No,
you know, that's what people.
That ship has sailed.
That's
going to move on now. That's a nice segue into extra
but I was
time.
going to slaughter.
I was going to move on.
I was about to slaughter the people that send the questions in.
Well, you can do that freely on Extra Time today. That's available, of course, on our YouTube channel.
Melodramatic man he is.
Barca 2, Eintracht Frankfurt 1. My first question was going to be Jurgen. How would you react if the involved did that?
I heard them on the phone to you. You said, I've had the producer on the phone. He just said, did you see Lamine Yamal throw a huge swat when he came off the field? Oh, a massive tantrum. A bit like Vinicius Junior. And we went, oh, that's a talking point. And then
he's let us down. He's let us down. That's what he's done.
Never ever to be trusted again, that man in the gallery.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, go on, ask about the tantrum.
That's completely put me off what we were going to talk about. Barcelona win then, Jurgen, but once again, that little vulnerability at the back.
Yeah, it continues, but obviously for them, thankfully they won the game. 2 headers from Koundé. I thought the second header was a very difficult one for him, but I was wondering if the goalie maybe wanted to come out at a certain point because the ball was up in the air for quite a long time. Yeah. But no, it's a good result obviously for Barcelona, but they keep offering chances to their opponents, and Frankfurt is a little bit more clinical. They get an equalizer, they tie the game up with 2-2 or maybe even score before. But there's pure entertainment always guaranteed when you watch Barcelona, no doubt about it.
They'll offer up. I mean, I'm just
going to go to Jan. You don't even have to butt in.
I feel that I'm semi-recovering from the drama
Jan, Eintracht Frankfurt would be disappointed, wouldn't it? They didn't get something from this game.
Disappointing. I mean, this is a team that concedes 6 goals a game. I mean, we're super happy. I mean, they lost 6-0 to Wolfsburg.
Yes.
Now to Leipzig this weekend, and we conceded 29 in the Bundesliga. No team in the world has conceded more goals. No, to be fair, I think that, yes, Barcelona were the better team, but they didn't create a lot of chances that we feared, especially in the first half. I think they will be very disappointed the way that the goals came. I mean, if you made a list of the players who are going to score against you, and then you end up with 2 goals from Kunde, you will think, oh, we should have put the money on him, because that was a high odds. I think Frankfurt will take this game into where they are at the moment in the table. Not so. I think they're 2 points away from a Champions League place, but still been a bit disappointing for them and conceding unbelievable numbers of goals. So I fear them. When I sat down to watch this game, I feared this game big time. But yes, the Champions League is gone now, and Jürgen will know the best words in German is Doppelbelastung. They have played Champions League and Bundesliga, Champions League and Bundesliga, Champions League and Bundesliga. The double kind of energy has taken a toll on Eintracht this season. So we just hope that they will sort it out before Christmas.
Yeah, and all that Lamine Yamal drama has taken its toll on us.
Well, who'd have thought we'd talk more about Frankfurt than Lamine Yamal?
We'll never trust him again, will we?
Yeah, you know what he's like. Just a reminder, full programme of La Liga matches for you coming up this weekend. Barca, of course, looking to extend their lead at the top of the table. They're at home against Osasuna. For Real Madrid, who will be in charge of their game away against Alaves. All these games are live on ESPN+. With a 3-1 victory. Jürgen and Jan still with us. Jürgen, talk to me about Leonard Carl.
Well, as a super special talent, absolutely outstanding at that age. It's impressive. He seems like just to play like he would play in a youth team. You know, he doesn't get bothered by 70,000 out there. Tackling very, very gifted, very creative. Has the smell for where the ball will end up in the box, which reminds me a little bit of Thomas Müller. He always knew where the ball will drop. So this is a very, very special kid. And I mean, obviously in Munich, the big discussion is, once Musiala is coming back, how these 2 youngsters will play together. There's a lot of excitement there. And then there's the speculation, and Jan Age knows that. Is this kid already mature enough to go to the World Cup next summer?
Would you take him, Jürgen?
Well, if you have a kid like that, I mean, obviously now you have 26 roster spots, which is not so easy for a manager to deal with. 26 players instead of the 23 before that came all with COVID, obviously. Well, I would take him in a heartbeat, absolutely.
Well, Musiala, what will Musiala's fitness be by the World Cup? I mean, when are we expecting him back, guys? Do we know?
I think we expect him back. It was a bit delayed. They hoped that he maybe get some minutes before Christmas, but it seems now that they will save that to over the new year. So in a month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks time, he'll be back. Good news for Canada today. Alphonso Davies got some minutes today. Talking about injured players, been out for a while. So he was on the bench and came on in the 88th minute. So that's good news for Bayern and good news for Canada.
I suppose if Musiala's back and has 3 or 4 months of football, and this is not easy, and gets his form back, because when you have such a bad injury, we've seen it with Rodri at Manchester City. Come back in, much more experienced player, but come back in, play some games, pick up some other injuries, play some games, pick up some niggles. These things can happen and they can really wear on you. And that might not be the case for Musiala, but we've seen it with Ansu Fati as a youngster at Barcelona. We've seen it with Pedri as a youngster. Coming back and getting niggles. So it would depend how he comes back in. If he comes back in and he's fully fit and he's flying, then Musiala will go to the World Cup. I suppose the one question you could be if Leonard Carroll keeps playing like this, is it Florian Wirtz that might be?
Right.
No. Florian Wirtz and Musiala will so go to the World Cup. They will go there with a Nike wheelchair. I mean, that is no chance. The big thing is
are you saying if Florian Wirtz, and listen,
yes.
I think they're great players, but even great players have poor seasons. Are Germany still, if Florian Wirtz continues to have a very, very average season for Liverpool, in and out the team, left out the team, are you saying there's no chance the youngster would go?
I think the youngster will go. I think Jürgen makes a very good point with a 26-man squad. I think you should bring in players, be ready for the next World Cup, the next European Championship. But Florian Wirtz and Musiala got so much credit in the bank. Yep. They are seen as the future of Germany, even if they have a poor season. But I would bring Leonard Carl, absolutely. And the thing is, I think the last game of Germany, there were 5 Bayern players in the team, and with the form Bayern is having now, they can only help Julian Nagelsmann. And then we see how proud he is. So many players he dares to play in the starting lineup, because at the moment Bayern is playing better than the German national team.
Yeah, very true, Jürgen. How much does that play on your mind, if at all, as a national manager?
Well, as a national manager, I mean, obviously you observe now all your players, for the next 5-6 months, and see what rhythm they're taking, and what form they are. But it's not that Germany has now 20 world-class players. You have your top players within your team, the first starting 11, and then you have the key players coming off the bench, 12 to 15, 12 to 16, and then you have players that you hopefully can feed into the team at a certain moment, maybe with some specific qualities that you need suddenly to break a result, or to defend the result, or whatever. So I'm sure that Julian Nagelsmann knows already who to count on. And I just think in a World Cup, when you go into that period of the 2.5-3 weeks of preparation, and then obviously this World Cup will be exceptional with 48 teams, and it's going to be a 5.5 weeks tournament. Things will happen there that you cannot even think about right now. And even if Musiala now maybe is not ready yet, you still can grow into the tournament at the end of the day to make a difference, let's say in the semifinal and final, if you make it all the way to the semifinal or final. So it's a lot about timing, it's a lot about the momentum, it's a lot about the chemistry of the team. And even if Florian Wirtz maybe has not the best season, or is in his first season at Liverpool, he might be a completely different Florian Wirtz with the German national team than coming to the United States. So there's so many little topics that the national team coach have to deal with, and it's obviously it's fun to deal with those topics, but I think the German side, looking at it from the outside, has a very competitive squad.
Bayern, of course, a big part of that squad, who are flying in the Bundesliga so far this season. They'll be looking to continue their brilliant start to the season on Sunday, as they're at home against Mainz. Of course, a reminder, all these Bundesliga matches live on ESPN+.
Charles, congratulations. Another historic night for this club in Europe. Talk me through it.
Yeah, very beautiful victory. It was a bit. Also, first half I think we did good, but we got a goal against. But we did very good second half by keep pushing, also mentally, and we did 2 great goals and a nice victory.
2 great goals that you were involved in. The cross was beautiful. Did you always know Gianluca was going to be in that position in the box?
Yeah, I know he's a real striker, so I always try to find him there. So I felt it, and I gave a great cross, and it was an amazing goal.
And what about your goal then? Did you expect to have that much space as you were running into the box there?
No, mostly if the fullback comes, I try to give to our wingback, but I felt they kept dropping back, and then I shot. I'm a bit lucky with the deflection, but it doesn't matter. It's inside, an amazing victory.
Yeah, you'll absolutely take it. And even when you did go a goal down, this team didn't stop pushing. You didn't stop pushing and pushing. And in the second half, there was only one team that looked like they were going to go and score the winner, and it was you guys. Yeah,
I think mentally we were very strong against a really strong opponent. But I think we knew that maybe intensity-wise they dropped a little bit in the second half. We saw that they got a lot of goals against in the second half. So we kept strong also because we felt that we were good in the game. And you see it paid off.
And just finally, I know as it stands, obviously there's games to come tomorrow, but you're third in the Champions League table. How about that?
Yeah, I didn't see the ranking yet, but I knew it was a very important game because we both had 10 points, and we have to try to get in the first 8. This helps a lot, of course.
Oh, we're really happy, of course, because Chelsea is one of the best and biggest teams in Europe and the world. They're the world champion. We knew it would be a really difficult game. I think we gave it everything, and a really big result for us. And also we are on 13 points. That's amazing. It's not done, but we're in a good position, and we have to say to ourselves that it's important to play always like this.
You are the captain. Where is the real strength of this team?
No, we have to find the real strength, because in the Champions League we are doing really well and we're having good performances. The strength is that we have intensity, we have a lot of quality. We know how to play, but we need to have the performances not only here but also in the league, and that's really important. That's what we have to find for ourselves, that we are more constant. But this is a really nice evening, and this we're going to celebrate a little bit tonight.
Enzo, disappointing defeat. What did you make of the performance as a whole tonight?
Yeah, I think first half we were winning. We were good, controlling the game. Probably the 2 goals we concede in short time, 2 easy goals that we can both avoid that. But in this moment it's like this. We need just to try to, as soon as possible, to try to win games again.
Like you say, you did have control for quite a lot of the game. So, you know, goals change games. Did you just feel like you lost that control because of the manner in which you then conceded that equaliser?
Yeah, probably after the goal we conceded, the first one, we lost a little bit the control of the game. But yeah, I think the second half also probably, you know, we are playing every 2 days. Probably we are for moment we look a little bit also that we struggle a little bit, but again now it's for me it's just a matter to try to win as soon as possible the next one.
You say struggle. Do you struggle with the intensity and the way that Atalanta sort of kept pushing and pushing and pushing when they scored?
No, we also tried to be aggressive. I think we were aggressive like them. We had different chances also to score the 2-0, especially with the race. And when we considered the 1-1, probably there the dynamic of the game changed a little bit.
When you made that sub at half-time, Chalobah off for Fofana, was that always planned or was that a decision you made?
Was a little bit planned because Trev is playing every game, so to give a little bit both. Also because Trev was here with the yellow card, so for both reasons.
João Pedro, has been a lot of talk about, is he a number 9, is he not a number 9? But that goal he scored tonight, I know obviously despite the result, is that something you want to see more from him when he is playing number 9 to score a goal like that?
Yeah, he scored, but João is doing well. Sometimes he's playing as a 9, sometimes he's playing a little bit behind of the 9, but overall he's doing well.
Overall, Enzo, obviously 2 points from the last 12 available. How worrying is this dip in form, or are you not too worried at all? Because the smile on your face.
No, I'm always worried. Even when we win games, because we try always to do something better. But for sure, 2 points in 4 games is not what we expect, and we have to do better in terms of results.
João, a disappointing defeat. What did you make of the performance out there today?
Yeah, we are disappointed because we came here to win the game, but I think we start well. We score first, but I think in the Champions League, if you gave chance to the team, if they score, gonna be a difficult game because they are a strong team. But yeah, I think now we need to come back to England to learn and to be ready for the next game.
How did they create so many chances? Was it just a case of the intensity levels rose when they equalised and Chelsea's maybe dropped a little bit?
Yeah, I think the first half we controlled the game a lot. I think we started very well. You had a lot of chance to score more, but I think for like 10 minutes in the second half, when they score, they build up the power because they play at home. The fans also help them. I think, yeah, in the Champions League, if you concede one goal and the second goal too early, I think it's difficult to come back. But yeah, I think we need to learn. We are disappointed and we have to be focused on the next game.
Away form has been a bit of an issue in the Champions League. Is that just because away games in the Champions League are just really difficult nowadays, and every team you play, no matter on paper how good they are, going away to grounds is really, really tough?
I think not only away but at home as well. I think Champions League is tough because you play against good teams. Atalanta is a good team, we know that. But I think Champions League is like this. If you score, you need to control the game to be ready, because in a second they can score. That's why Champions League is very good. I think that's why everyone wants to watch Champions League.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about your position and whether you're a number 9, whether you're a number 10. But that goal you scored today, that was a goal that most number 9s would be very proud of. Is that something that you want to do more, score goals like that?
Yeah, of course. I think Chelsea brought me to score. Today I scored my first goal, but was enough. But my position I think is strike, but also I can play like a 10. But when Palmer play, I feel better when I play like a 9 because you have a good charisma. And yeah, I think my position is a 9. I feel better when I play a 9.
Mikel Arteta has made it clear that Arsenal will need to unleash their complete player against Bayern Munich. The Gunners host the German champions at the Emirates Stadium on Wednesday, and one man in particular could be decisive. Ebereki Eze, described as a very complete player by teammate Mikel Merino, is emerging as one of Arsenal's most dangerous weapons ahead of their Champions League clash with Bayern. The 27-year-old announced himself in North London with a stunning hat-trick in his first derby since arriving in a £67.5 million move from Crystal Palace. His 3 brilliant goals dismantled Tottenham, and truthfully, he could have scored even more. Merino believes every one of Arsenal's 8 summer signings has lifted the squad's level, helping the team build a 6-point lead at the top of the Premier League. But Wednesday's matchup is different. Bayern Munich, the reigning Bundesliga champions, represent the toughest test yet for Arteta's side. Speaking after the win over Spurs, Mourinho praised Iza's qualities and hinted at the impact he could have in such a high-stakes European battle. We've brought in a lot of players who can make a difference. But you can see that other teams have spent big as well, the Spain international said. Individual brilliance can win matches, sure, but in the end, it's the team that matters. If you have great players who don't connect, that's a problem. The good thing about this group is that everyone thinks about the team first. When asked about Is specifically, Mourinho didn't hesitate. I think he's incredibly complete. He can dribble, he can pass, and his technical quality is outstanding. In Spain, we always talk about players who can connect with others. He has that naturally. He grew up with that instinct to link play, move the ball, and build relationships on the pitch. He also has the mindset to get involved, demand the ball, and influence the game. At the same time, he's strong, he can take players on, and he can finish. He's a truly complete signing. Mourinho also touched on how the modern game often reduces players to simple numbers. These days everyone judges players by goals and assists, that's just how it is. But as footballers, we see the deeper qualities he brings, the technique, the movement, the intelligence. Even in training, you can tell immediately how special he is. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's much more than that. He's an exceptional player, and we're incredibly lucky to have him. He can play in several positions and adapt to different systems. He's been a huge addition for Arsenal. Beyond the technical qualities, Mourinho believes Iza's attitude, and the healthy competition within the squad, will be crucial in Arsenal's title push. You can hear the calm in Eberechi's voice and see it in the way he carries himself. He's confident, grounded, and every morning we sit together in the sauna at the training ground and talk about everything, he added with a smile. He's a great guy, already fully integrated, and we need players like him. Competition is fierce. There's so much quality in this squad. That's exactly what the manager wanted, as many top players as possible, all ready to play. It makes his decisions tough, choosing who starts and who doesn't, but it also pushes every one of us to give our best in every session. And that's why we're improving as a team. As Arsenal prepare for Bayern's arrival, Arteta is facing one of the most delicate balancing acts of the season. The squad is healthy, competition is fierce, and expectations have never been higher. But behind the scenes, there is a growing sense that Iza's versatility and calm presence may be essential against a Bayern side known for controlling the tempo in big European nights. Arteta himself has hinted at Iza's importance without naming him directly. After the Tottenham victory, the manager spoke about the need for players who can break pressure, dictate rhythm, and stay composed when the game becomes chaotic. Those inside the club believe those comments were aimed at Is as much as anyone. The coaching staff has been particularly impressed by how quickly he has adapted to Arsenal's positional play structure, a system that demands far more tactical discipline than what he was used to at Crystal Palace. Analysts at the club point to his growing influence not only in the final third, but also in build-up phases, where his ability to glide past pressure could help Arsenal bypass Bayern's aggressive midfield line. There is also an awareness that Bayern's fullbacks tend to push high, leaving spaces between the lines. Iza's skill set, sharp turns, deceptive acceleration, and precise final balls, could be exactly what Arteta needs to exploit those gaps. Outside the club, pundits have already started circling Wednesday's match as a defining moment for the £67.5 million signing. Some believe that if Is can impose himself on a Champions League quarter-final against Bayern Munich, it will confirm his arrival among Europe's elite creative players. Former players have echoed that sentiment. Several ex-Arsenal figures, speaking on television over the weekend, highlighted the need for someone who can change the temperature of the match with a moment of calm or an unexpected burst of creativity. Is, they argued, is one of the few in the squad capable of both. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich come into the match with their own confidence. Their midfield trio has been one of the most dominant in Europe this season, and they have shown a repeated ability to suffocate opponents early. That dynamic is precisely why Arteta may lean on Iza's composure. When the game tightens, Arsenal will need a player capable of slowing it down, protecting the ball, and finding solutions in tight spaces. Within Arsenal's dressing room, Mourinho's praise reflects a broader consensus. Senior players have reportedly been struck by Iza's humility and work ethic, qualities that have helped him integrate seamlessly into a squad that already had strong internal chemistry. Staff members describe him as someone who never forces the game and lets the match come to him, characteristics that could prove invaluable in a high-tension Champions League tie. As kickoff approaches, the narrative surrounding the match has shifted. What began as a test of Arsenal's resilience has quietly become a spotlight on whether Eze can elevate them in Europe the same way he has in the Premier League. For Arteta, the equation is simple. If Arsenal are to overcome Bayern, they will need more than intensity. They will need control. They will need creativity. And increasingly, they will need the completeness Eze brings to every phase of the pitch. Whether he starts in a wide role as a floating midfielder, or even as an interior playmaker, the expectation is the same. Eze will have to find the spaces others cannot, and influence the game in ways that statistics alone will not capture. The stakes are high, the opponent is formidable, and the spotlight is intense. But within the walls of London Coney, the belief is growing that this is exactly the kind of stage Eberechi Eze was signed for. Martin Odegaard is nearing a return to action after suffering a medial collateral ligament injury in Arsenal's 2-0 win over West Ham earlier in October. Yet, 3.5 years after Mikel Arteta named him captain, the Norwegian finds himself in an unfamiliar position. His place in the starting lineup is no longer guaranteed. For the first time since joining the club permanently from Real Madrid in August 2021, there is real debate over whether he remains an automatic choice for Arteta's 11. Odegaard, now 26, has been central to Arsenal's resurgence under Arteta, the conductor who shaped the team's rhythm through some of their most fluid football. But this season, the Gunners have been forced to navigate long stretches without their captain, first due to a shoulder issue that kept him out of 4 matches in September, and then because of a knee collision with West Ham's Crescencio Somerville that sidelined him again. And during his absence, something significant happened. Eberechi Eze stepped into the spotlight. Eze's sensational hat-trick in the North London Derby has complicated the picture. Now thriving in a central role, the England international has given Arsenal a different kind of presence around the edge of the box. A blend of unpredictability, directness, and two-footed confidence that opponents struggle to contain. He may not control games with the same metronomic precision as Odegaard, but he offers a spark, a willingness to take risks at moments when Arsenal need a jolt of creativity. After such a standout performance against Tottenham, it feels almost impossible to imagine Arteta leaving Eze out. The manager has always had a soft spot for players riding a wave of confidence, and Eze is currently surfing at full height. There was a similar situation back in September, when Mikel Merino was handed a start against Manchester City after scoring 4 times in 2 games for Spain, including a hat-trick against Turkey. Arteta doesn't hesitate to reward form. Eze has carried that form onto the international stage as well, recently scoring a stunning goal for England in a 2-0 win over Serbia in the World Cup qualifiers at Wembley. Though he can play on the left, it has always been clear that Arteta brought him to the Emirates to operate in midfield. And with Declan Rice and Martin Zubamendi near untouchable in the double pivot, the odds of Eze and Odegaard consistently starting together seem slim. That leaves Odegaard in an unfamiliar position. He needs minutes to rebuild sharpness, yet Arsenal's medical team won't rush him. The plan is likely to ease him back through short substitute appearances before restoring him to larger roles. But even once fully fit, Odegaard faces genuine competition, because Eze has shifted the landscape. His arrival has raised the team's ceiling, and his performances have earned him the right to keep his place. Before the dismantling of Tottenham, Eze had scored only twice for Arsenal, one against Port Vale in the Carabao Cup and another versus his former club Crystal Palace, a clever finish that sealed victory. Now with 5 goals across all competitions, he sits just 1 behind Odegaard's total from last season, when the captain made 45 appearances. Odegaard's 2023-24 numbers were outstanding: 11 goals, 12 assists, influence written across every competition. That is the standard he must match again if he wants to reclaim his spot, because Eze is hungry, confident, and eager to impress ahead of next summer's World Cup. Arteta will insist that Arsenal need both players at their best if they are to meet their ambitions in the months ahead. And with Kai Havertz also working his way back to full fitness, potentially slotting into midfield behind marquee striker Victor Gyökeres, the battle for places has never been fiercer at the Emirates. For Odegaard, the message is clear: he must rise to the challenge. His leadership and quality remain unquestioned, but he can no longer rely on reputation alone. If he embraces the competition and fights his way back into the side, his return could push Arsenal to even greater heights. And if the team has already reached this level without several key figures, the potential for what comes next may be even greater. Inside the club, staff members are quietly acknowledging that Arsenal are entering a new phase, one where no player, not even the captain, is immune to tactical evolution. Arteta has spent the past 2 seasons building a squad capable of sustaining pressure across multiple competitions, and the emergence of ease is a sign that the manager's long-term planning is beginning to bear fruit. Depth is no longer a luxury, it is a necessity. But with depth comes difficult decisions. Arteta has always valued balance in midfield, and the contrasting profiles of Odegaard and Ease force him to reconsider what type of midfield best suits the team's ambitions in Europe and the Premier League. The technical control and spatial awareness that Odegaard brings have defined Arsenal's identity under Arteta. Conversely, Ease's dynamism, physical presence, and unpredictable touches give Arsenal a new dimension, especially against teams that sit deep or defend aggressively in central areas. This internal shift has also caught the attention of analysts and former players. Several pundits have begun to question whether the captaincy should guarantee a place in the lineup, especially at a club with ambitions of challenging for the Champions League. Others argue that Odegaard's leadership is too valuable to sideline, pointing to the standards he sets in training and his influence over younger players. Those debates are already spilling into the media, and they will only intensify as the season progresses. There is also the tactical question of whether Arteta might eventually experiment with a system that accommodates both Ease and Odegaard, something he briefly attempted earlier in the season during the win over West Ham. But with Rice and Zubimendi forming an almost impenetrable midfield pairing, any reshuffle risks destabilizing the defensive structure that has made Arsenal one of the most resilient teams in the league. The manager has hinted that he is open to adjustments, but only if they enhance the team's overall cohesion. For Odegaard himself, the challenge is as much psychological as it is physical. He has worked hard to cultivate an image of calm authority, a leader who raises the level of those around him through clarity and consistency. Now he must show that he can adapt, compete, and respond to adversity. His teammates still speak of him with admiration, describing him as one of the most studious and detail-oriented players at London Coney. They believe that once he regains full rhythm, he will naturally reassert his influence. Yet even they acknowledge that the landscape has shifted. One senior player privately remarked that, "The team is different now, Ease has changed what we can do in the final third." That sentiment reflects not a lack of faith in Odegaard, but an understanding that Arsenal have evolved while he has been sidelined. For Arteta, the ideal scenario is straightforward, a fully fit Odegaard competing with a fully confident Ease, creating a level of internal competition that lifts the entire squad. The manager often speaks about the need for healthy tension among his players, pressure that keeps standards high without fracturing unity. The arrival of Victor Gyökeres, combined with the recovery of Havertz, only amplifies that dynamic. Arsenal's season will almost certainly hinge on these midfield decisions. With Champions League knockout matches approaching and the Premier League title race tightening, Arteta must decide not only who starts, but what kind of identity he wants his team to carry into the defining months of the campaign. The next few weeks will reveal whether Odegaard's return sparks a resurgence or a battle for relevance. If he manages to reclaim his place, it could serve as a reminder of why Arteta trusted him with the armband in the first place. If he struggles, it will underline how rapidly Arsenal are progressing, and how little room there is for sentiment at the highest level. Either way, the captain's response will shape not just his future, but the trajectory of a team that believes it is on the brink of something significant.